Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Here's what I say. You know it's going to be a good show when you start off laughing and you're seated next to a doctor. That's the kind of personality that I like in any doctor or healthcare provider for that matter. This is Hy-Vee Today. My name's Tony Tone. Welcome in, friends. Little sleepy later Tuesday night for me with the lip sync battle that took place at the Mississippi Brew. Raised, I'm going to say, a lot of money for the Muscatine Community-Wise youth and teen programs. So that went over extremely well. It was a lot of fun. And even though it was hot, we had shade. So it was nice. It was a very pleasant evening. And yeah, I can't say enough about the good work that the Y does, and I look forward to being part of the 4th lip sync battle, the 4th annual, which will come up next year, of course. We have a lot to get to on the show today. 2 guests to start, 2 guests in the middle, Hy-Vee guest at the end, some purple stuff, Sunny D. We've got it all, friends. It's going to be a busy one. I do want to wish you a very happy National Kitchen Klutzes Day. We're going to talk to Chef Tess about that. I don't think, as a professional chef, she's a klutz in the kitchen, but I certainly have had my moments. Today is also National Weed Your Garden Day, ladies and gents, and National Sewing Machine Day. I don't make them up. I just read them off the internet and then share them with you on this show. So I don't know what we're going to have in store for tomorrow, but we'll find out. Our first guests are here, Unity Point Health. They do so much for the community. We talk about great resources in town. You know that if you watch the show, that I've mentioned this before, both my kids have been born locally at Unity Point Health. We've had great care in a variety of different ways. So I'm super excited to introduce to the audience someone that is relatively new to the scene and then a familiar face. So Dr. Robert Carlson is here for the first time, and Holly Thomas Kaler. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Well, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So Holly, we've known each other a long time.
Yep.
Probably coming up on 6 years.
Yeah.
But I walk up to Starbucks this morning and I see a gentleman seated there, and I'm like, this has got to be Dr. Carlson, because he was early, was prepared, and was just hanging out. And I said, Dr. Carlson, and here we are. So welcome to Muscatine. I know you've been around since September, you were saying?
Yeah, I was here in September,
okay.
and I got here through the locum tenens. I'd been doing locum tenens before that, and
Sure.
they asked me to come on. They had seen me here before and working here part-time, and they asked me to come on after, I guess, they saw some of the work that I did. So.
And your background is fascinating. We were discussing a little bit off the air. You have radio experience, and you've certainly well-traveled, a lot of life experiences. You could probably write a book. Have you thought about that?
Well, I thought about that, but no time to do it. Too many other things, too busy doing my life.
Right. So for patients in Muscatine and around the county, what type of services, Dr. Carlson, what's your specialty? Certainly you can help with facial stuff, but let's just kind of baby step through the services that you can provide folks that are going to be watching this show.
Yeah, generally I do general surgery. That means a lot of different types of surgeries, and I've done a wide range of things, even more than what I do here, because it's a little smaller hospital. I've been at bigger hospitals, but all kinds of things, hernia repairs, appendectomies, gallbladders, those kinds of things, just general surgery stuff, anorectal stuff, colonoscopies, endoscopies, just a wide range of things. But I have special interests too, as you mentioned.
Yeah, we're going to get to those in a second. So I had a colonoscopy a couple of years ago because I've always had a sensitive stomach. I'm 34. I know you're looking at me like, wow, 30, that seems young, but it was just something that that my doctor recommended. So I hooked up with Dr. Nad Carney, who's been on this show, and had the colonoscopy and the endo, what's the one down the throat called?
Endoscopy, or upper endoscopy.
I always want to call it endoscope, but is that
call
right?
it esophagogastrodiginoscopy if you want to get technical, but that's fine.
Let's say that real
fast.
fast.
It's officially the biggest word that's ever been said on this show. Can you say that again, please?
Esophagogastrodiginoscopy.
Holy moly! I think I just got smarter. So I had that. I had both of those done, and it was clear. And I had a good experience. And there's a very funny video of me coming out of anesthesia because, as you know, Dr. Carlson, when you have a colonoscopy, you got to pump a little bit of gas in the old stomach, and it has to come out. So my wife took a video of me, and it's on YouTube. And I use that, and I had her film that because for me, that was a good teaching tool.
Yeah.
Because, and I talked about this when Dr. Nag Carney was here, and still as I sit here, neither my mom nor my dad have had a colonoscopy, and they are older than I am. And they probably should have by now,
I'm sure they're due if they're over 50. And now they've changed it. They've even gone earlier than that. So 45, right around there is what they've changed it.
Is that right?
That's what the newest thing that they've decided to do, that this research shows.
And the thing is, and Holly, we've done a good job, I feel, over the years, just wanting conversations like that to come up. So son to mother and father. I had a colonoscopy and the esophageal supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and I was okay. Mom and Dad, you're older than I am. You need to have it done. That's just, I think that's one of the strongest things about Unity Point Health is you want people to have these conversations, to not feel like they need to hold back when it comes to your health, because we only got one shot at this,
Right, and let's be open about it. Let's have the conversation, whether it be about colonoscopies or mammograms, any of those screening types.
Yeah.
People need to be going and seeing their doctor for that to make sure they have a clean bill of health.
Yeah. And it's really Dr. Carlson, and we're not going to just dwell on this, but certainly, you see your primary care provider and you get referred, and then that's where they would come to see you for
whatever it may be, as far as whatever endoscopic procedure.
I think it's interesting that you do all those types of procedures, but then you have these special interests in things like facial reconstruction, reconstructive surgeries.
Well, it's facial reconstruction in the sense that people that have skin cancers and various other things. I do minor flap procedures on the face and that, but so it's not total reconstruction of the face, but there's some partial reconstruction with patients that have had skin cancers or that kind of thing. So
you were saying that you were at Sturgis,
right?
This
past year I was in Sturgis.
This was last year when this happened.
I got hired in September, but in early August, I was at the Sturgis rally for the full week, and the hospital regional health there in South Dakota asked me to come for the full week for Sturgis. So it was a rather challenging thing, and of course you get a lot of different types of things you have to do.
Right.
And the most interesting thing that I did, there was a gentleman, of course they don't have a helmet law in South Dakota, just like in Iowa and Illinois, but so the most interesting I did, there was a gentleman who had been thrown out of his vehicle, and his face was torn in about 100 different places, it seemed like. And so I spent all night putting his face back together again. There was nothing more exciting for me than to do something. I know that to some people that doesn't, but this was very interesting and very self-fulfilling to do something like that.
And you obviously have the skills and the ability to do it, so I think that's...
approximating everything together, putting everything back together again was rather a challenge, but it was real interesting when it was done. So
one of the notes that I was reading said that you'll be able to help if people have things like cysts that need to be removed, or lymphoma. Now, certainly there's a
lymphoma. Lymphoma is different.
Lymphoma, sure. There's a dermatologist on YouTube, Sandra, who's known as Dr. Pimple Popper, and videotapes a lot of her procedures with cysts.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be doing that.
No,
which is good. Yeah.
No, I don't pop pimples generally.
Right. But as far as the cysts, there are people...
I take the cysts out.
People and I guess I'm one of them, I'll watch some of these videos where the people are getting the cysts drained and going in and cleaning it out.
And those are actually not even pimples, they're epidermal inclusion cysts, is what the name of them is, in a special type of histology that they have associated with them. But they're not really true pimples, although on YouTube they'll probably mark it as such and say it's a big pimple, and it's not really a pimple. So.
But that's just one of those things like that, an issue that people can leave untreated for a long time, right?
Yeah, that's true, and they get infected every now and then, and they want to have it removed.
But essentially, it is just skin trapped under skin.
It's epidermal inclusion cysts. It's epidermis, which is the outer layering of the skin that involutes within itself, and it's actually not sebaceous material; it's keratinaceous material that sloughs off from the involuted epidermis in further outer part of the skin. So it forms it.
I just want people to know that if you have something that's been lingering, and obviously you would probably agree and speak to this more, like you need to reach out and get these things taken care of. Like sometimes we don't put our health first because we're all so busy, with work and family and life, and then that's when things can go wrong.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
exactly.
So I just think that when you bring someone like yourself into the fold on a local level here with Unity Point Health, it's such an asset because you're just able to get in and do that good work.
Yeah.
We just need to keep reminding people to be seen and to ask questions, right? Don't just assume everything's okay.
Right. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, definitely, in this case. It's better to take care of something before it becomes a real problem. So
yeah. Facial lesions you can help people with as well.
Yeah, facial
right?
skin cancers, various other things have an interest in that. So,
so we're in the summer. Obviously, people are out. At this point, are you of the mind that, like, if you're outside, you need a higher SPF no matter what? Because some people would say, well, I just go outside to get tan. I don't burn.
Yeah. You know, the SPF's kind of an interesting thing because it was developed by Coppertone back in the 70s, that particular thing, and the FDA adopted it. But basically, it just means that if you get burned, you can spend 15 times, if it's SPF 15 times longer out in the sun without getting burned than if you didn't have it to begin with.
Gotcha.
But that's all variable because it depends on all kinds of factors as far as how much UV light is getting through, the cloud cover, various other things. But that's kind of the general idea of it. But yeah, so SPF higher is always better, and you want to reapply it every 2 hours because it can sometimes wear off after that, and especially if you're fair-skinned. Apply it more often. So
I'm sitting here with burnt shoulders because, and I put on I have young kids, so we have like SPF 1000. You know, it's just like caulk, and that's what I put on. And then I was in the pool and I failed to reapply, and then I'm sitting there in the pool and I'm like, my shoulders are burning, and I thought I got stuff on. Yeah. And I'm lobster man over here right now. It's very not flattering. But that's not good though. I mean, you know, obviously we need vitamin D, and you can get vitamin D from the sun, to a certain extent. You know? And especially here in the beautiful Midwest, where not only do you have the heat, you have the humidity. So it's like this whole other level of just
pleasantness.
Yes, pleasantness. It's like hanging out with a hairdryer in your face some days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm so happy to have you in town. I think that, you know, people need to take advantage of, when we have resources like yourself, and I hope you stay for a while.
Oh, I plan to be here until I retire.
Good, that's great.
That's great. That's great to hear.
He said it here first, folks. Dr. Carlson cannot leave.
It's a stable community.
It's a stable community.
Yeah, financially stable. It's got a lot of good things here. I like the church here that I go to and that. So, so
you want to give the church a shout out? You can if you want to.
Yeah, the Church of Christ here.
All right.
Muscatine, just off 61.
So let's pull back up that contact info, so that if people need to get a hold of. Now, obviously, you need to work probably through your primary care physician to get to Dr. Carlson.
Well, in some cases, yeah.
I just want to make sure I get the steps right.
But you know, in my particular case, like I've had a cyst before.
Sure.
And I just went straight to general surgery. However, I work in the healthcare environment. But yes, people should start with their primary care provider for a number of reasons. The primary care provider is the gatekeeper of folks' health, and they can direct them to specialty care as needed. But not only that, because they're their primary care provider, they know the whole scope of what's going on with that particular patient.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's great. I'll tell you what, just take advantage of the services that we have locally. I mean, Dr. Carlson, I said it in the onset of this, that both my kids have been born in Muscatine. I can't even fathom. My wife's pregnant now, so we'll have a baby girl in October, and the thought of like her telling me it's go time and me being like, well, we got to drive out of town.
Yeah.
That doesn't end well for me, Dr. Carlson.
That's right, yeah.
The hospital is 4 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
You know how I know that? Because one time I had to take somebody there in a hurry, and I made it in 4 minutes. I was going very fast. But it's nice. And everybody that works there cares for sure, you know, and they understand how to take care of people, and that's exciting to hear that you're gonna be here until you retire, which of course will be in 45 years. You have 45 more years.
Yeah. Well, there was another Dr. Carlson here in town about 20, 30 years ago, and so I hope to follow in his footsteps. He was here for a long time, but anyway, so we'll see.
And the other thing we want to talk about, of course, is the rescheduled Health and Safety Day, Holly. So, you know, rain.
It was
rain, but it was like when you tried to do this the first time, it was
awful.
Right,
It's
it was not good.
to say
Yeah.
it was awful,
and it messed up a lot of stuff because there are quite a few things. I mean, each weekend there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
But I feel like you guys, given the situation, you picked a great date to be rescheduled on. Because I've been looking at calendars, there's not a ton of stuff going on this Saturday, so this is good.
Well, it was just serendipity. We've just had to pick a day and hope for the best. The great thing is that virtually everyone that had signed up to present via display has agreed to this date.
Awesome.
So it's basically the same offerings.
Great.
It's Saturday, June 16th, out at Farm and Fleet from 10 to 2. It is a free event for the community, and we hope everybody comes out in force. There's going to be a teddy bear clinic.
Yep.
We're doing a bike rodeo, so we're encouraging all kids to bring their favorite teddy bear or stuffed animal, bring their bike, trike, scooter. They can do the obstacle course and then get fitted with a bike helmet. And then there's all kinds of EMS, fire truck, police vehicles. MedForce, we're hoping, will make an appearance.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's going to be really neat.
MedForce, of course, the helicopter.
Yeah.
The only thing about Saturday, it's going to be warm, but that's it. Like, there's no rain in the forecast.
There's no rain.
It's going to be hot, but
like
you know
very
what?
hot.
Yeah, but
that's okay.
It's a good time, and the medication, the medication drop off, and we talked about this the last time. But I think that's such a great thing because all of us have. I had my knee scoped recently, and I have leftover hydrocodone that I will never take again. Not a fan of that stuff. I had every single side effect. I don't want that. So I need to drop it off in a safe way.
Right.
Because the last thing I want to do is throw it out.
Right. We don't want it to get in the water supply.
Right.
We don't want it unused, whether prescription or over the counter.
Yes.
Medicine sitting in folks' medicine cabinets. In this day and age, we want to keep this stuff off the street.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, I've been out of high school for a little while, just a little while, right? But it would have never occurred to me to look at my mom and dad's or my grandparents' medicine cabinet.
Same here, yeah.
To get a buzz.
Right.
And we want to discourage that. And so folks, please bring out your unused and expired prescription or over-the-counter medications. No questions asked. The police department will dispose of them in a safe manner.
And that's the thing, like you could roll up with a plastic Hy-Vee bag full of stuff.
Full. We have had that.
Yeah, and nobody's going to say like, what's going on?
Right.
They're just going to take it and get rid of it.
Exactly.
So, and I think, Dr. Carlson, what you've experienced about Muscatine and Unity Point Health so far, events like this, the outreach is so strong, and you've been in a lot of different communities, but this one, there's almost like some magic. I don't know what it is.
Well, the reason I want to stay here.
Yeah. You got a sense of that though.
Yeah, so
that's great.
I did, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that for a lot of people, when I moved here in August of 2012, I had some friends say, well, and I just moved down from the Quad Cities, not that far, 25 minutes, whatever. And they said, well, do you think you're going to get stuck in the Muscatine bubble? And my response is, this is a great bubble. You should see the bubble. Yeah, it's massive. It's big enough to fit me, so it's a big and tall bubble. Yeah. But this is a really good place to be. And the work that Holly and everybody has been doing to be out in this community. We're just a few weeks away from Muscatine County Fair.
Yes.
And getting out in front of people there. It's, there'll be no, you'll have no, trust me, you'll get asked a lot. Doc, can you be here? Can you come to this event? Can you meet these people? And it's just kind of what we do. I mean, it's great. And I'm so glad that you're experiencing that already.
Yeah, very much
I'll
so.
drag you to every event I'm a part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have time to do all of everything, but I would love to do everything.
Patients.
That's right.
I know.
There's
a lot of things to do, yeah.
And then, of course, your own life, right?
Right.
That's the other thing I don't think people understand sometimes because we go to the doctor for whatever, and we just assume that y'all are there all day and that you're, and then when you see like a doctor out and about, it's like seeing a teacher. You're like, what are you doing here?
You need to be back where you're working. Yeah.
You leave the hospital? That's how I feel when I see people sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening right now? Am I on like a hidden camera show? But and certainly as we get older, we understand that more and more. But it's been great to talk to you. Thank you.
Absolutely,
for coming on.
absolutely.
Pleasure.
Thank
Please
you for
come
having
back.
me. Yeah.
And if you do anything with this, you can fix this a little.
Okay.
I've lost some weight. I don't know if I need to get rid of this gobbler. Can you get rid of this thing? What can you do about this? Are we doing any cosmetic stuff? I've had Botox in my armpits about 10 years ago. It worked. Didn't sweat for a while. I just don't know where that sweat went.
Yeah.
Do you do the Botox stuff for people or no?
No.
Okay.
We used to do that. Some of the people that I work with have done Botox, but it's regulated. There's a lot of interesting things you've got to do as far as doing that, and so I haven't done that yet. But it'd be something I could try. I've been around people that have done it, and certainly just didn't have enough time to get all the specifics down to learn. It's not that hard to do. So
Botox in the armpits.
Yeah, so it's not that hard.
People are probably watching this thinking, why would you do that? Listen, y'all, it was free, and I didn't sweat out of my armpits for like 3 years. But I don't know where that sweat went. That's the other weird part.
Yeah.
Like, did it funnel to my back? It might have. Like, I don't know if that's how. That's probably
no,
not
that's
how that
not
works.
how it works.
Okay.
No, but that's fine.
Sure. Have a doctor on the show, and then you look like a dummy.
So, anyway.
Well, it's good to see you, Holly. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
see you, man.
thank you very
I hope
much.
you have a great time in Muscatine.
Yeah.
Please don't leave. You said you're not
Yeah,
going to.
no,
I'm
I
going
don't
to hold
plan
you
to.
it.
So, okay.
I'm going to look you up.
We'll make sure he
Couple
comes
years.
back.
Yeah,
on the
please
show
come
too.
back. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
okay, that'd be
absolutely.
great. Yeah,
We'd
thank
love
you.
to have you. It would
Thank
be
you.
great.
Thank
All
you.
right, well, Chef Tess is here working on a mountain of bananas. I don't know what's going on in the Hy-Vee Today kitchen, but we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. That is a giant amount of bananas, Chef Tess. What's the deal?
So, I think you mentioned yesterday that we were out doing smoothies over the weekend, which was a huge hit, and I was asked to return to some softball and soccer tournaments throughout the course of the summer, and so I am preserving smoothie perfect bananas for my next smoothie stand. So
that is genius.
Yeah.
So you're going to, and I think you mentioned this to me, and this is a good chef hack for people at home. You can freeze bananas, and then you don't have to put ice in your smoothie.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, and that goes for any fruit, really.
Okay.
So what I like to do, we eat a lot of fruits and veggies at home, but if you have any fruits that you would normally put in a smoothie, and some veggies like kale, that are kind of getting to the point where you need to use them before you lose them.
Right.
If you cut them into smoothie-sized chunks and freeze them, then you can just use them whenever you need them, and you preserve them at their peak ripeness, and they're just there, super convenient. If you do freeze your bananas, just make sure you peel them. It's a really important step.
Right.
Trying to peel a frozen banana is not fun for anyone.
That's a lot of bananas, and they're going to make good smoothies eventually.
Yes.
I'm super excited. You are, so we're going to touch base with our dietitian, Kara, in a few. Plant-based cooking yesterday. You made hummus that changed my life. I sobbed for several hours after I had that. And I only had, by the way, a very tiny amount of hummus since I'm on this goofy diet. It was so good. But what kind of beans, what kind of beans were they again?
So garbanzo beans or chickpeas were the base.
And then you did what to every single bean that was in there?
I took the skin off of every single bean in order to achieve the most creamy and fluffy hummus I have ever made in my career.
And I don't think people understand, like, it was a lot of beans that you took, and they're not big, so I don't even know how you did it.
My heart was in it. My heart was in it.
And then they said, Chef Tess, how long did it take? And she said 12 minutes. And the room was like, oh, yeah, I could take the shells off of all of those little beans in 12 minutes. Unbelievable. All right. If you guys want to clip on, we'll get you situated here in just a sec. All right. So Chef Tess, the mountain of banana skin. By the way, somebody is going to slip. Somebody is going to slip on those banana peels, and it's going to be a tremendous fall.
I will properly dispose of them, I assure you.
Watch this segue, though, Chef Tess. If I slipped on all those banana peels, I could just see my friends at Rock Valley Physical Therapy and get some more PT.
Well played.
And just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, sometimes when you say that, they appear. Ashley Ravenscraft, hello,
Hi,
welcome, good to see you. You guys did a sneak attack on me, Steve.
We did. How you doing? Good, how are you?
I've never had a guest come up this side. That was awesome. And I was sending you a message like, I think I said, y'all heading this way, and then you were literally
Right
we're on the Real Today show, so kind of like holding up a Rock Valley PT sign or something. Great to have you guys here. So it's Rock Valley Physical Therapy. Relatively, I'm going to start with same incredible staff, same location on Cedar Street across from St. Mary Matthias Catholic School, and for both of you, and Steve, maybe a few more years, but you had a lot of time spent in that location, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been in that location since 2002.
Wow.
We've actually had 2 name changes.
Sure.
We went from Muscatine Physical Therapy Services to Integrated Therapy Specialist to now Rock Valley Physical Therapy.
That's great.
So, yeah.
So, and I'll tell you that I've had a couple different personal experiences in that building. So, my oldest son went for play therapy. Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
Because not only do you do physical therapy on one side of the building, but then the other side, it's
a pediatric practice
Thank
and neuro rehab on that side.
cool. See, I didn't know what it was called. I just know that
Yeah.
Hank went there for a while, and that there's a lot of handprints on the wall.
That's right.
And I thought, like, I have giant hands, so not that I would be leaving a handprint, but I almost like, I hope they don't ask me, because I'll take up too much wall. So I'm glad that you didn't ask me to do that. But I just think that's nice, because you have a lot to offer people, that, and they might just think of you for physical therapy, but certainly
We actually,
across the hall, it's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. So we do occupational therapy across the hall, and we do speech therapy across the hall as well. So we have all
great.
3 disciplines in one building.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Facebook page is on the screen. Again, it's easy name to remember, Rock Valley Physical Therapy. Ashley, how long has it been for you in the physical therapy world, but specifically here in Muscatine, of course?
8 years total, but it'll be 7 years at the end of this month. I've been with Steve.
Wow.
So
You got like big anniversary party planned?
I don't know what he's
balloons
gonna
from
get
the
me.
ceiling?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that kind of deal.
Prior to
No.
this, she'd worked 2 jobs each, for 3 months. So
yeah,
she
wasn't
stayed
very
with us
long.
for a long time.
Wasn't very long.
Geez, not that Steve remembered or anything.
That's right.
Yeah. Your anniversary present for work is that good memory.
That's right.
So I have tomorrow at Rock Valley with Jenna, relatively new, I think, right? Graduated from BYU.
Yes.
And Ashley has helped me out when I've been there. That's what I know personally what you're able to do with physical therapy. I was in a bad car accident in January. That wasn't my fault. I just say that for legal reasons. Had my knee scoped by the great Dr. Foad. And then before I had that done, I was seeing you guys. And I'll tell you this, and Jenna hit it on the head. She said, you know, we have your surgery date. Do you want to keep doing physical therapy? Because in her opinion, she thought it would help me recover quicker. And 100% yes. So talk a little bit about that, like, because I'm certainly not the only person that should consider that, to not stopping PT even though you have a surgery coming up, right?
Right. So, especially with shoulders and knees, we see many of those now preoperatively. So we're able to make sure they have full range of motion, and then as much strength as possible prior to surgery.
Sure.
And you know, based on research and what we see in the clinic, the results are you get better much faster. So you may be in physical therapy a little longer at the beginning, but not nearly as long post surgery.
Yep.
You know, so the recovery is a lot faster.
And that's how it's been. I mean, and again, I talk about my personal experience, but that's what's still going on. And I'll be there tomorrow at 12:20, I think. If anybody's stalking me, that's where I'll be. And I think that might be my last visit, which is sad for you guys.
We'll be sad to see you go.
I know.
Yeah.
I love the electro-stim machine.
Yeah.
So do I get to take it home at the end? Is that how it works? Is that
We have portable ones
We
you
have
can
ones
take
you
with
can
you.
purchase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, purchase. I
Purchase.
see. Yeah, but that I don't understand. So, and this is an honest question. So I go through the physical therapy stuff that I'm doing. Sometimes it's squatting on a balance thing, which is not something that I do every day. So it's a challenge. I sweat a lot is what I'm getting at. I sweat a lot at physical therapy. I'm a disgusting, sweaty mess. But maybe less so since I've cut about 18 pounds since last Monday. I'm hoping that I'll be
Nice.
sweating less.
Yeah.
Although probably sweating more will help me lose even more weight. Anyways, I get done with the PT and then I get hooked up to the electronic electro-stim and some ice. And that's like the best thing. Now, certainly all the different things that I'm doing are helping strengthen the knee, but what is it about that electro-stim that's so wonderful? I mean, it helps me so much. And I know it's a weird thing to talk about, but it's really great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's
it relaxes. What it does is it relaxes the muscles and
Okay.
allows them to recover faster. So
Yes.
it's
Perfect.
we call it the reward at the end of your work.
Yeah.
It's never been described to me as that.
Yeah.
But that's how I should look at it.
That's
huh?
right.
Wow, I feel like if day one Jenna would have said, if you shut up, first of all, because you talk a lot, she's probably said that in private. If you can get through this, you sweaty monster man, your knee will feel amazing at the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know if she would use those exact words, of course.
Probably
but
not.
I think it's also important to know that, like, obviously the stuff that I've been doing has helped me get back to normal, quote unquote, so that I can resume normal activities, working, having young kids, being out and about. But then there's a lot of people that will come to you that are doing like specific things for their job, and they need to be able to replicate what they're doing at work. And I've seen that happen as I've been there. I've seen other patients doing that. So is that like a work?
It's called work hardening or work conditioning.
Okay.
So usually what happens is either the employee is back to work in a light duty basis and
Sure.
they're trying to get back to full duty, or they're off work completely. Usually if you get injured not on work,
Sure.
then we have to make sure you're 100% before you go back to work. If you're injured actually on the job, you actually go back to work faster, but then we do other things to strengthen you so that you can get back from light duty to full duty. So in the work hardening, work conditioning program, we do a combination of strengthening to whatever body part that was injured, strengthening the core, work on their cardio so that when they can go back to work, to be back to work on a full duty status and without restrictions. So usually most people are in our clinic for 40 minutes. A work hardening or work conditioning person's in there for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours at a time.
Wow.
Usually 3 to 5 days a week.
Oh my gosh. That is
So-
not me.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
And our goal is to basically work them almost harder than they have to work at work, so that when
Gotcha.
they go back to work, it's going to be easy for them.
That is fantastic. I didn't
Yeah.
know that it was that long each time that they're there, but that would make sense because I've seen, like I said, I've seen folks there. The other thing that I find interesting is like the work that you can do now. Certainly, if like someone that's an athlete gets injured or has injuries, but then, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's another arm to the business that helps athletes with conditioning. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a sports performance program.
Thank you. Okay.
Scott Morrell runs that. It's actually at a separate location. It's at it used to be Home Run Hitters.
Sure.
I don't know what the name of it is now,
I'm
but
not sure.
so he works with athletes who specifically want to tailor to their sport, and we can do that for whatever sport you're in, based on how old you are, what sport you're in, what you're good at, what you need to work on, and he comes in, does an evaluation, and then finds that for him. So he's trained some great kids, and seeing some awesome results that really translate to that sport.
Yeah.
So-
No, I think it's wonderful. And then, if athlete has any injuries, and it was one of those days when I was there, and on the table next to me, and you were working with her, was probably a high school or going into high school athlete, and that can be a lot for a young person to comprehend.
Right.
First of all, an injury, and
Yeah.
if you're playing at a high level, that's never something that you want to deal with. But I know that that's got to be important to you guys to be able to. You have to be able to almost speak different languages.
You do.
With the different demographics that you're working with, correct?
Right. And and specifically with an athlete, they may be there 90% physically, but it's that mental piece that we are actually talking through at the same time they're going through the physical part, because is that knee going to hold up? Am I going to be able to run? Am I going to be able to cut? Because they remember the injury, and they don't want that to happen again. So it's a lot of just coaching through that. And they usually do pretty well. The other piece that we have is we have athletic trainers in most of the schools surrounding Muscatine.
Awesome.
So we communicate with them, who then communicate with the coaches. So it's a seamless transition from therapy to back to activity. So
Makes total sense. Ashley, for you, most rewarding part of the job. You've been doing it for a while. You have certainly a variety of patients that you're helping out. So what would you say that you maybe most rewarding part, something you look forward to?
Well, prior to working at Rock Valley Physical Therapy, I worked at a hospital and then I worked at a nursing home.
Okay.
And I think the most rewarding part of it now is I get to see a patient progress from when they first walked in and maybe couldn't walk or was walking on crutches to when they can, basically run out of the clinic. Like seeing that progression and it's just a very rewarding experience to be able to, see someone's life kind of change and give them that life
Sure.
and that freedom back, like that's definitely makes my job
Yeah.
worth coming in.
I think I'm going to run out tomorrow because it might be my last time. Like,
That's
see you
right.
guys. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Really busy. Have to get home to change because I'm so sweaty. But no, you're totally right. I mean, and I certainly, the times of days that I'm there are people that are like literally not able to do things that we all take for granted every single day. I mean, even just moving my arms right now and talking or sitting in a chair and not having pain or whatever the case may be, I've seen people getting different hand exercises, and I've always been good at like, checking myself or humbling myself or whatever, not taking things for granted. But yeah, I mean, that's got to be, Steve, especially for you, since you have been helping people for a couple of years.
About as many as Ashley.
Yeah. I'm not trying to date you. I mean, you're 28. So,
That's right.
Yeah, 28 years you've been doing it. No, but I mean, you certainly have also experienced that. People coming in and just excruciating pain or challenging circumstances, and then a month or 2 or 3 later, they're walking out.
Right. And some of the coolest events happen when you ask a patient to do something they don't think they're able to do. A family has a life struggle, and the first time they do that, I mean, it's an emotional experience for everyone. We've had several patients who actually came in and, it took 2 persons to transfer them to a table.
Wow.
And we get to the point where they walk without a cane for the first time. I mean, it's really neat.
So awesome. There's a great shot from inside. And right behind, so you can see those medicine balls, and then there's a trampoline. And one of the things they like me to do is balance on one leg and play catch with like a 8 or 12 pound weighted ball. And Jenna's pretty good at trying to throw it to where I can't grab it. But I told her I can palm a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. I got big hands, right? I mentioned that already. So, but no, I mean, I've had such a great experience, and my son had such a good experience, and I know that we're not alone. I just want people to understand that just because there's a different name on the building, the people are, not only are there familiar faces there, you keep bringing in great, smart, talented people like Jenna, and I'm sure that there's other new people. And by the way, now you have all these like interns, which is super cool.
We do.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I think we have 5 or 6 right now.
Yeah.
So you have 5 or 6 future physical therapists or physical therapy assistants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really exciting. Like, they're going to school, and they're all very nice and knowledgeable, and I feel so old when they're asking me questions, and I'm like, I used to be cool, and now I have gray hair, and I mean, I couldn't prevent the accident, so I'm there. But you know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's got to be so important for them too to get that experience, right?
Yeah.
It goes both ways. They get the experience from people like us who've been doing this for a few years.
Sure.
But yet we learn things from them because they're learning the latest and greatest from
Right.
school. So it's a nice two-way street.
And to touch on that, obviously the continuing education is probably a big part of what goes on in the world of physical therapy, because certainly things have changed over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe over the last 6 months, I don't
Right.
know. But so when new techniques or things come out, I mean, you have to be, how do you have the time to take care of all your patients and then disseminate all that new information that's coming your way?
Well, we have a lot of different, therapists who like a lot of different things. So a lot of times, we'll send one therapist like to do dry needling and like one therapist to do this, and then they come back and kind of educate all the rest of us. And so it makes it nice because then we're, I think, well-rounded because we have a lot of different people who really specialize. Like Jenna, she's really specializes in vestibular.
Okay.
And so that's one of her passions. And so she has become really knowledgeable about that. That's what she wants to go out and specialize in her continuing ed. And so
I don't know what that is. What does that mean, vestibular?
So vestibular, like BPPV.
So it'd be like balance issues. Like,
okay, good.
Like some people will wake up and go to get out of bed and the room's just spinning.
Oh no.
Or you can have it where as you're walking, you just feel really unsteady.
It's like when I got my glasses. I thought I had vertigo.
There you go.
Kind
Yeah,
of?
vertigo,
It's
same thing.
Like the crystals, like in your inner ear, become loose. Like they don't. It's like can happen. Like with age, unfortunately, it can happen. And then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're like laying down for an extended period of time, like after surgery or something like that, those crystals can kind of shake loose. And so you basically have to do different positions to get them back to their.
That's fascinating.
So,
she's really good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, so people that have been dealing with this for several years, she honestly can get them better in less than 3 visits.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys just do such a great job, and I'm happy to have Rock Valley be local. I mean, again, I talked about how close Unity Point is to my house. Rock Valley is maybe 6.5 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
If I gun it down Logan, down that sweet new part where they paved it, unless that stinking car with the camera in it's not there, because it got me once, I can make it there. And there's been a couple of times where I've had to hit that roundabout kind of quick in my dad band, and I'm like, oh man, they're going to think I'm late, and I'm like voice dialing the office saying like, I'll be right there, I'm pulling in. But no, I mean, accommodating for sure.
And then we also have a location out on Northport, so right by the Maid-Rite.
Okay.
So there's actually 2 locations in Muscatine that people can use.
And then Columbus Junction?
West Liberty, Wilton, Durant, Bluegrass around here.
Louise.
So yeah.
So no excuse. If you need PT or sports performance, or if you have questions and that question might start with a doctor that would then send a referral.
Or they can just come on their own.
Oh, they can come on their own. Okay, that's great to know. I want to make sure that that's clear then. Briefly at the end, I had Dr. Foad. He did my knee work, took out the scar tissue. Great guy. You obviously get to work with a lot of talented folks, whether they're orthopedics or whatnot. Just talk briefly about how important that relationship is, because you certainly have to understand what they're communicating to you to then have happen to folks like myself. So I go have the procedure done, go home, and then I'm at the office, and I don't know what's going to happen, but that's all that communication that's going on behind the scenes, right?
Right. And we're really fortunate here in Muscatine to be, number one, have awesome healthcare providers here.
Yep.
But a lot of great orthopedists either in Iowa City or the Quad Cities that, since I would say we're part of a triangle.
Sure.
And so we're able to work with all those groups. And every group that we work with has good communication. So some will even call us on our cell phones. Hey, so-and-so's coming in today. I saw him today, and they're having this issue. Or the nurse will call us. Or at minimum, we receive a fax with the latest order.
Sure.
So, every time a person goes back to the doctor, we make sure that we send a note with them or call the doc. So, that's one of the things. We kind of act as the middleman between the patient and then the physician. And it goes really well.
And that communication, I mean, Ashley, obviously you experienced that. That's another thing you have to sort of, you got to be great multitaskers is what I'm realizing in your world. I mean, you're taking care of somebody and you have a computer and you're reading, notes or whatever, but I don't know how you do it, but I'm glad that you guys do it.
Yeah.
You do a great job.
Well, thanks.
Thanks.
And then the very last thing, Joe went to Iowa Sunday.
He did.
He's gone, and
He's gone.
His life is about to get really wild playing basketball at the University of Iowa. Dropping him off at school, just how did it feel? How did it go? And that's not what we're here to talk about, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask, because
I would say a little bittersweet. I mean, we're excited that he gets to do what he wants to do, but selfishly, we like him at home.
Right.
But no, it's going well for him. So he started his workouts. He's working the youth camps. Mm-hmm. He'll work the father-son camp over the weekend.
That's awesome.
No, he called last night and said he really likes it. So that's good as a parent to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not that far away, by the way.
No, that's
my
what
parents
we
were like, Davenport, Iowa is how far from Oak Park, Illinois? And I was like, just about 3 hours.
Yeah.
2.5.
That's right.
And my dad was like, sometimes that can be a lifetime away. So University of Iowa, right down the road. No, what an exciting time for sure.
Yeah.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it was cool when my son just got done with kindergarten, and we were getting stuff out of the room, and I know that Joe had shown up with some other guys to McKinley, and they signed a couple things, and my son said, like, those are like superstars, Dad. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Good role models for young people. The best. We need them. Like, we need more strong role models for kids in all different capacities, whether it be athletics, academics, just good people doing the right thing. So, yeah, that was nice to see and nice to hear, because he's 6 and all he really cares about is, terrorizing his 3-year-old brother.
That's right. That's what he should, right?
Being at the pool and going closer to where he can't touch, Like, I'm like, come on, man. I'm going to grab you because I'm real light in the water.
That's right.
I don't think that kids realize that. I'm real quick. Like, I can run fast in water somehow. Well, thank you guys again, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to what could be last appointment. I know it'll be very sad.
It will be sad.
Keto-friendly cake and balloons and all that.
The graduation song for you.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah, cap and gown.
Yes, maybe a 2X cap and gown.
There you go.
I'm getting on the slender side. Thank you guys so much for being here. Truly
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, Ryan Broderson, can we go to the cart cam quickly? And then we're going to get our dietitian, Kara, on the show, who's been waiting in the wings. We have a couple things to touch on. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Piece of cake, right?
Yeah.
But not literally a piece of cake, because I can't have cake, Jim Simmons. I could have all that water that you're pulling. I could have sugar-free cake. Ooh, sugar-free cake. Did Kara just say a beet cake? Oh, jeez. What has my life become? All right, so Ryan Broderson is heading to the health market. It's Wellness Wednesday, and we have talked a lot about wellness today, and that's going to continue with our third guest. So this is actually our fifth guest, if you're doing the math correctly. What a fun, busy show. So we'll let Ryan Broderson approach the health market. Don't forget, today and every single Wednesday, you can save 10% off your order on everything in the health market, health and beauty products, organic produce. There's so many different great items over there. He's going to show you Mark Wahlberg in a second, who is hidden by a fuel saver balloon. There he is. There's Marky Mark and his performance-inspired products. The health market was entirely reorganized recently, and it looks great. And if you need things like those Bang energy drinks that are a great deal on those right now, 2 for $4, you can make your own peanut butter right there, which I kind of want to try because it's literally pressing a button and the nuts become peanut butter. There is nothing additional added to it. And then as Ryan continues to go a little bit further, he would approach Kara Zigerman, Hy-Vee Dietitian's office. So Kara, this is certainly your neighborhood that we're strolling through right now. And the amount of products that are in the health market is just wonderful. So let's start by welcoming you to the show. Is this your first, second? So. First time?
I think so.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, so we're getting close to your office. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a couple things. I want to just kind of recap the plant-based cooking class yesterday.
Awesome, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, it was so great, Kara. So great turnout. As far as I've been here since December, I feel like we had the biggest turnout to date, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Wow,
we had a good number yesterday.
It was so good, and the recipes are... So, you look at this, like for me, I look at the piece of paper and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to come together. And then 30 minutes later, people are sampling stuff.
I know, it's amazing.
It's so good for you, right?
Right.
That's
no,
just
it's awesome. So, every month we try to do a plant-based cooking class and introduce people to new recipes, how to use fruits, vegetables, plant-based products, and it's amazing.
It really is, and it was just a lot of fun for me, again, to experience this stuff as I try to make more healthy decisions.
Right.
Trying. I feel like I'm doing better at it. And that's where, that health market and what you do come into play. So correct me if I'm wrong, Kara. People watching this need to know, like, a couple things. They could reach out to you here at Hy-Vee, and you could literally take them, like, throughout the store and show them things that might be either healthy alternatives or just different ideas, options, if they're looking to make like small changes at first in their diet, things like that, right?
Yes, I'd love to. They can it's probably best to call or stop by and make an appointment so I'm available and can spend the time with them. But we can have a personalized tour through the grocery store focused on what you'd like to eat and helping you make some changes, and it's just complimentary. So,
And one of the things that you brought that's kind of fun is this Peaceful Piranha. So this is something that like people might think, I like trail mix, I like beef jerky, but maybe that's not always the best for me. And I'm going to hold this up because this stuff, the packaging is super fun. So talk about Peaceful Piranha
Peaceful
snacks.
Piranha is exclusive to Hy-Vee, and they have a variety of snacks. This happens to be the beef jerky trail mix. There's a turkey jerky, a chicken jerky. There's some different popcorns and some peanut options too. So what's nice about this is it has less sodium than some of the other trail mixes.
Awesome.
And this combines the beef jerky with the nuts and dried fruit, so you're getting plenty of protein and some fiber and good for you things.
That's so great. Yeah, I love it. So beef jerky with almonds, cranberries, pecans, raisins, walnuts, and sunflower seeds. There's a lot going on in there.
Right.
That is awesome. So if you see the Peaceful Piranha, it's not just a piranha in a bag.
No.
Right.
And you can check it out in aisle 7. There's lots of varieties, and there's a little sign up there that talks about maybe some of the healthier options of the Peaceful Piranha, so recommendations from me.
And and you do talk about signage in the store. There'll be like dietitians' picks throughout the store. I've noticed signs like that, like, hey, check this out, this is a healthy new item, or something you might not think about when you're in this aisle looking for this product, maybe right to your right or left or something.
Right, so some of them are focused on lower sodium, some are lower fat, some are to add fiber to your diet. So they're there for different reasons. So, but you can always stop by and come check in with me. And
maybe you just want to get a roadmap on where
Right.
people can find this stuff.
Right.
The main thing we're going to talk about is the men's health tour. And this tour is stopping in Muscatine this Saturday.
Correct.
From 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're going to pull the flyer up on the screen right in front of us in
Okay.
just a second here so that folks can see this. So obviously Father's Day is this Sunday, and Kara, prostate cancer is just terrible. But it is unfortunately one of the most common cancers in men. I'm
Right.
reading it off the flyer.
Right,
It can
it
be
is.
treated with early detection. So this Saturday, we're going to be offering this PSA blood test, correct?
Correct. So we're pairing up. The Healthy U-Mobile will be here on Saturday, as Tony said, and we're pairing up with Quest Laboratories. They will actually be doing it's a blood test. They take a little blood sample from your arm, and then they will test your PSA level. And so if it's elevated, that's an indication that it could be prostate cancer, but not necessarily.
Okay.
You'll be able to get your results online within 2 days, but also within 2 weeks you'll get actually a paper mailing from Quest. It'll be real simple results. If it's in the green zone, that's good. If it's in the red zone, that means it's elevated.
Okay.
If it's elevated, you will get a call from like a third-party physician
Sure.
to talk with you, but it would be recommended that you go check in with your doctor to see if there's further testing needed.
And this is free,
It's
right?
free,
Okay,
so that's
good.
an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
It's recommended for men between 40 and 75.
Okay.
So it might not be right for everybody, but if you
Sure.
have a history of prostate cancer in your family and you're younger, you probably can still come and get that tested. Right,
Yeah.
it's just a great opportunity. It's sort of, June is Men's Health Month,
Right.
Father's Day. We need to look after the men in our life too, because sometimes they're not always as focused on their health as they should be.
Amen.
So
We were just
this is a
talking
great
about that.
opportunity
Yeah, no,
to
it's-
take care of yourself,
Yeah.
take care of the men in your life.
And especially since it's free.
Right, awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so you just show up between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Correct.
You will not be able to miss the Hy-Vee Healthy U-Mobile.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Because it's like a big old
Bus.
Yeah. It takes up a lot. There it is in the picture right there.
Right, yeah,
So you'll
it's
see that in
awesome.
the parking lot this Saturday. And yeah, again, to touch on what I mentioned earlier when we had Dr. Carlson from Unity Point Health and Holly here, like having these conversations with, the men in your life about getting things like a PSA test done and, overall health. It should just be something we're able to do.
Right.
It's of course easier said than done sometimes.
Correct,
Having
yeah.
these conversations can be difficult, challenging, however you want to describe it. But this is such a great service provided by Hy-Vee and some great sponsors, including Peaceful Piranha, which is super cool to have
Right.
these companies on. Smart Chicken is
Smart
on there, which
Chicken,
I
that's
love.
an awesome product.
Smart Chicken is
yeah,
great.
it's a fabulous product.
Little secret here. Smart Chicken, the base for the Tony Tone burger.
Oh, all right.
That's
That's
right.
a perfect
That's a
option.
good chicken
That's
right
a good
there.
choice.
Healthy chicken.
And then California avocados,
Yeah.
which those are heart healthy, and
That's the thing. Like, do people understand that avocados are good for you?
yeah, it's a healthy fat,
Healthy
and they're tasty.
fat. And they're so good. I've been eating a lot of avocado.
Yeah.
And I even use some chef test maneuvers to get the pits out without cutting my hand off, and then using the spoon to pop the avocado out. That's probably got a fancy name to it. But part of a cooking class yesterday, and we touched on this a few minutes ago, but that hummus that she made was unbelievable. And it's just, we talk about healthier eating, cooking, whatever, habits. Like, you don't have to sacrifice things that taste good.
No, and you know, often people say, oh, if it's healthy, it must not taste good. But
Right.
actually, it's a great opportunity, plant-based cooking, to come sample things
Yeah.
that you might not make at home yourself.
Absolutely.
Find some new recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like the desserts yesterday.
Oh, awesome. Wasn't that
I
brownie?
didn't have it.
Oh, it was good.
But it smelled really good. Tess, did you try that yesterday?
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like you just watch it being made, and you're like, "That's it."
Right. It's nice, simple, whole,
Yeah.
fresh ingredients.
Sometimes you look at the back of a package, and the ingredient list is long. It's like it could be on a scroll. It's so long.
Right.
And there's things that you don't know what they mean, but that's where plant-based cooking is such a, I don't know, it's just such a great thing to have. And then you've also done like the healthy kids cooking classes,
Right. And that's a lot of fun, yeah.
constantly in the schools, and
Right.
you're a busy person, Kara.
So
Yeah.
well, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
especially when we get an opportunity to bring, like young people to the store
Right.
and take them around and talk to them about healthy options. And yeah, I mean, I think it can just happen. Deb on Facebook. Here we go. Encourage men to get the free PSA test. My husband's prostate cancer was discovered early this way.
Right, awesome.
So
yeah,
that's
just the thing. Yeah, that's why we're out here this weekend doing that.
Yeah, and it's a serious thing, and it can be devastating. I mean, as most cancers can be, certainly. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about us guys that we have this weird thing where, and I've been guilty of this too, where you just put things off. And for me, it's been my weight probably where I've just put it off, and now I'm trying to make some changes. But certainly, yes, if you have the opportunity to get this PSA screening, I'm looking right at you in that camera. Come out and get it Saturday 10 to 2, and then go about your weekend.
Right.
And the Healthy U-Mobile's air conditioned.
Yes,
so even though it's
awesome.
going to be 96 degrees.
Is it? Yeah,
outside,
check it out. It's a fun.
Right.
Oh, well, even just to check out the Healthy U-Mobile.
Yeah,
awesome.
hey, check it out. Yeah, have a seat. Let's take a little poke here, and you're good.
Yeah,
I'm sure they got to fill out a tiny bit of paperwork.
Little paperwork, but yeah.
I'm so glad that we're doing this, and I'll tell you what. On this show, we just kind of skim the surface of things when it comes to like Wellness Wednesday and the health market. But I think Kara needs to come back on a regular basis, because as a dietitian, you can do so much more for folks, and they just need to be aware of that.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're just another great resource and another great part of this store. And don't be a stranger, okay?
Right. All right. Thank you. Yeah. And if anybody has any questions about the screening this weekend, just call the store and ask for the dietitian.
563-264-2420. 563-264-2420. Ask for Kara, or I don't know. Do you have a nickname?
No.
KZ.
KZ. Yeah.
Has anybody ever called you Ziggy?
My husband, that's his nickname, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. I like a good nickname. I'll still call you Kara.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
thanks so
please
much.
check out things like Peaceful Piranha and the screening, again, Men's Health Tour, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Right here this Saturday at the store. Great job. You did awesome. I knew you would.
Thank you.
First fist bump from a guest right there. All right. Chef Tess just continued. It's a banana planet over there. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's so great. I love that we're able to use those bananas in future smoothies. Before we go, we got to do the old team staffing job board. We're going to take a look at Chef Tess just feverishly working. I want to ask Thursday lunch dinner plans. Do we know what's on the agenda tomorrow? Not to put you on the spot.
Nope, you're all good. Thursday night, I have an event outside of the store. I'm doing some work with the YMCA.
Okay.
Which, if you have not toured their new facility, I know I was kind of late doing that.
The best.
But I got a tour with Nicole McClary yesterday.
Yeah.
And from somebody who grew up using that facility as a kid, it is amazing to see it today. I was just blown away. It looks great. But anyway, I'm going to be hanging out with them tomorrow night. So I'm just doing a lunch, and we're going to do, by request, a Cuban again.
Nice.
So
Cuban for lunch.
Yep.
And then hanging out, helping out the Y tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I do think that we are going to have a dinner option available in the store.
Cool.
So come and check it out. We've got plenty of dinner options.
Oh,
but I think there is
going
to
be.
Yeah,
we've got
plenty of stuff going on.
We've showed off the Hy-Vee Chinese wonton bowl.